Hi everybody, this is Dean. Today we're gonna talk about watch lists on Koyfin. Now before I start, I'd like to remind you that you can get 20% discount on Koyfin plans with the link in the description. Now watchlist is a very important part of the Koyfin ecosystem. And it has a bit of a misleading name, actually. I think the name is not really representative of what this entails, because usually when you think of a watch list in terms of trading or investments, you are looking at a list of stocks that you want to keep an eye on. You want to keep it on your watch, and therefore, hence the name, a watch list. Whether there are stocks that you have currently in your portfolio or you're invested in, or stocks that you are considering investing in. Now, I'd like to point out you can do this with many other apps. For example, the iPhone stock app. You can basically put in a list of stocks, like main stocks like Apple, Microsoft, whatever, and check the price movements on a day-to-day basis without issue. So I don't think you should use a Koyfin to do such thing, okay? It's kind of like the iPhone app is like a rowing boat, and the Koyfin software is more like a speedboat. There's so much more capabilities, okay? And I'm saying this because I don't want you to go and start using a watch list as per the name, just to put a bunch of stocks and just trying to keep tabs on it to check the price movements once in a while. No. A watch list in Koyfin is a list, okay? You're gonna build lists, and if you're using the free plan on Koyfin, you have limited real estate. You only have 2 maximum watch lists, and therefore you can't allow to spare that precious real estate on a list that you can basically put in on the iPhone app, right? Now if you get a pay plan, you can get unlimited lists and you'll have them as tabs at the top, but here we're using the free plan, so I only have 2 watch lists, and they are lists, okay? And these are lists that you want to build. You can build them manually, or you can populate a list very quickly with the screener, for example. And they could be lists of financial instruments like stocks or bonds or ETFs or whatever. But they can also be lists of economic data points, and that's probably the part that I value the most, because we will see in the next video we're going to talk about screeners, right? And a screener is a way to build lists of stocks very easily and in a very customizable way, without having to use Excel or browse through manually or input data manually. However, you can't use the screener to populate economic data, and there is a huge deep pool library of economic data points in Koyfin, right? Koyfin, I just want to remind you that Koyfin uses S&P Global as their data for the financial instruments, and they're using a bunch of APIs for trading economics, Fred, and a bunch more for economic data. So huge library, and obviously you can build a list of economic data points, feed them into dashboards, There's a lot of areas that feed through that are coming from your watch list. So this is why it's so important. It's a very fundamental area that you need to understand from the get-go if you're using Koyfin to really take advantage of the full capabilities and features of the software. You can then, when you want to build a watch list, you can then feed it through your customized dashboards. Okay, you can build your dashboards on top of these lists that you've created. You can go and feed them into other areas like the scatter plot, like the earnings calendar, like the news section of the website, where you have this tailored features based on that list. So you can therefore imagine how this could be very, very useful, especially if you have many lists that you compartmentalize into different thought processes and ideas. And that's my second point. I don't want you to use Koyfin as a watch list thinking simply keeping tabs on a list of stocks that you just want to see the price movement of on a day-to-day basis or weekly basis. No. Koyfin, is an idea generation tool. It's a research tool, and it's a beast for that. So, for example, as you can see on the screen, I have a list that built up very quickly just as for this example, where we have a selection of data points for Australia's imports and exports, specifically in their categories. We could populate by countries as well. As you can see here, Australia exports to Afghanistan. We have the different export categories. So I was kind of building this watch list in that manner. Let me walk you through what are the features you have on screen, there are many. At the top you have the said watch list. I have another watch list here which is called French Industrials, which is a list of French stocks. So I built a screener. We'll explain that in the next video, by the way, where I got equities in France, but in the industrial sector. Now, in your watch list, at the top, you have what's called a table view. Now, this is how you set up the table, essentially. It's very intuitive. It's similar to Excel, but it's dynamic and it's obviously less clunky. So you can build these columns with different data points, and then that will automatically save, and it will be called a table view. Okay, now this table view, you cannot allocate it to another watch list. The table view will be individual to that watch list. So as you can see in my Australian economics watch list, I have different table views here. So if I click on another one, that one is kind of empty, but for example we have financial ratios with a few financial ratios. Now that table view, financial ratios, which I've built myself, is attached to the Australian economics watch list. I cannot send it to the French industrial watch list. Okay, so if I build table views here, they will be displayed here and they will be attached only to this watch list. If you want to move a table view to another watch list, you will have to duplicate it here, up here, okay, and then change obviously the items in there. You can add tickers manually here. So if I want to add Google to this, I can. It will be added here. It doesn't really make sense here. Where is it? Right here, because it's an American company in the middle of these French companies. Yeah, you can add tickers manually, or you can import them either through Excel or through the screener. As I said, the columns here have been handpicked by myself. You would build them by clicking on the columns option here, and you can search for data points. So if I type EPS, as you can see, there is literally thousands of EPS data points variants, and each of them have their own subcategory, so the possibilities are really endless in terms of analysis. And this is what I said when I was talking about this is a tool for research, for idea generation. It's such a waste to use a watch list as its name implies, because it can go so much further. Think of it as a list that then you can build up upon to do further research, deep dive research. Another thing you could do is you can add summaries. So if you scroll down at the bottom, you see we have an average. So we have the average of each metric at the bottom, which is obviously populated from the data, the constituents in the table. Now I could add more. You have plenty of choices here. You have percentiles, max, min, sum, the count. We could add a market cap weighted average, like so. So now we have a market cap weighted average, which is pretty insane. So as I said, if I remove Google for accuracy, I will go to delete Google here. Yes, delete. So if I look at my market weighted average, for example, the PE for next year, PE1, is at 21 times, and we could therefore say, based on that data, that the French industrials have a forward PE of 21.7. Now, the reason why I use this one and not this one, the simple average, is because this one is market market cap weighted average, so therefore it's more accurate if we are trying to aggregate these data points. Okay, what else do we have? We can have groups. So for example, I could group by industry. So for example, here it pulled out the data for each sub-industries of this watch list. Pretty cool, pretty neat. You have custom groups as well. So for example, if I go back to my Australian economics, here are these import partners, import category, export category. These are custom groups, right? You can create your own custom groupings. Sorry, my browser crashed there. Oh no, sorry, I don't have internet. Let me just try and reactivate the internet here. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, watch lists are lists, guys, okay? And then they will feed into other areas of Koyfin, such as your market dashboards, your lots of charts. There's a section called lots of charts where you can have many charts displayed on screen, and you can scroll them with the keyboard very quickly. It will feed into all the other areas of Koyfin, and you should think of watch lists as lists that you build, and then you can then perform research on. You can don't be afraid to delete them and start again. That's why you have these messy lists, because you only have 2 watch lists in the free account. So don't be too worried about breaking things and trashing things and starting again and building up the list, because it's just a research tool, right? Koyfin is a massive idea generation tool, so you can scroll through many different iterations of lists to perform your research. All right, guys. In the next video, I'm going to show you about the screener. So thank you for watching.